Hello guys, welcome back to the Cracking Cryptocurrency Market Update for another Thursday edition. This is your host Justin Wise coming live to you from the CC studio. Hopefully you guys are doing absolutely fantastic today, wherever you are in the world and wherever you happen to be watching us today, whether that's DLive, Twitch, or the YouTubes. If you guys have any questions or comments, make sure to throw them in the chat as always. We've got a nice day in the markets. Beautiful day for the altcoins continuing to rise as Bitcoin and some of the other majors continue to slump here. We are seeming to, we're testing the bottom of a value locked area now. To coin a term from another popular trader that people tend to like. But again, just kind of moving sideways, consolidation, following those big pumps up to the top of the kind of standard deviation VWAP area. We'll talk about that in a second when we get to the charts. Nothing super notable in news. Obviously, the market reacting positively is the FOMC news, but having a little bit of weak follow through as we move into Thursday and Friday. And I think likely what we're going to see is Bitcoin continue to go sideways here, which means good things for altcoins. Now, we're going to talk about kind of the weekly outlook and what this might mean. We're going to talk about the possibilities of a breakdown here on the entrance into a bear market. We're going to talk about the possibility of the bottom. So two things, both could be equally possible, and it's going to take time and patience to figure out exactly what the correct thing to do is. So we're going to talk about how to approach this as a trader, what the best thing to possibly do to prepare yourself for if the market does bottom here and continues to go up insofar as altcoins and Bitcoin holdings, and potentially how to prepare yourself if we do enter into the crypto winter bear market. I need sound effects. You know, I got this Stream Deck, but I never use it, but sound effects would be good in this particular situation. So all right, I do see Torrent, Jordan Stotts, and I do see Mr. Ether in the chat, so good to see you guys. Let's hop right over into the live scene and start breaking the markets down. Okay, so just first, quick overview of the markets. As you guys can see from the crypto bubbles up there, we are having a beautiful day for altcoins, so holders are happy. Good double-digit gains, right? Good 18%, good 20%. So everything is looking quite good right now. And again, this is largely due to the fact that Bitcoin is going sideways and that everything had a nice reactionary pump off of the kind of news-driven event yesterday. So when we go, thank you, Torrin, I appreciate that. When we look at when we look at the weekly chart here of Bitcoin, I want to lay out two possibilities that are going to happen. So let's first off, let's get rid of this. Okay. We're going to hide drawing tools, so we'll get to that channel here in a little bit. On the daily, it's not super important. But as you guys can see, we are looking at the 60-period Ehlers-EMA smooth moving average. I utilize this as my baseline on higher time frame trading. And as we can see, Bitcoin is still currently above it, which for trend following trading means that we are still in a bullish trend, which puts us in the situation of looking for a pullback for kind of weekly entries here. So we're right in that entry area range. We do have the baseline actually coming in right at around 42,500. Let's actually pull open the data window and get that exact number here for you guys. 42,102. All right, on the weekly time frame, average price for this current range being about 43,660. And if we look also at volume profile visible range, VPVR, all right, which lets us know volume by price. Okay, we can also see that right there, right at the beginning of the baseline, is the beginning of the value area for this aspect of the market, for this area of the market. Okay, we have this consolidation period. Just a second, guys. Okay. My daughter has found sticks. Okay, so we have this previous area of consolidation over here where the market did hit a high, snagged for a few weeks, rebounded with a long-legged doji on the third week, and then we had quite a nice 3 weeks of just positive uptrend, and then we had about 2 months of distribution, right, before we did have that nice 50% correction back in May. Again, we have another about 2 months of accumulation, and then again, a nice solid pump up to the recent highs in the middle of November. So we've had a pretty good sized correction since then, not to the magnitude that we had over here and not with the severity and force that we had over here, except for really this candle, which obviously knocked a lot of longs out, wiped a lot of people out. But we're coming right back down to that dynamic level of support, the weekly baseline. Again, the top of the value area, so where 70% of volume has been transacted. That's going to be, as you can see, the highlighted area here. We're still in that area, but we're coming up to what I like to call the shelf, the point of control shelf, where we have the highest value areas wrapped around that. So that is the area where the largest majority of entrants, recent entrants into the market have have entered their positions, have bought Bitcoin. And what we would hope to see for the long perspective here is for those buyers to rebuy, to use excess capital and to protect their buy-in position, and for other investors as well to begin picking up this position as well. Now, there is some positive information out there. If we look at quantity of whales accumulating, we can see that whales with large accounts, so sharks, what are considered sharks in the cryptocurrency space, these are going to be individuals. I believe the way they format it is like between 1 and 100 Bitcoin in their portfolio. They have been aggressively selling since November, since October actually. But large scale whales, they are continuing to buy and increasing their accumulation of Bitcoin to the entire way down. Now, can we correlate immediate market movements from that? No, because in that it is a positive sign. It doesn't necessarily mean that the bottom's in. But one thing that you have to keep in mind when looking at those stats, I've seen a lot of YouTubers and other traders out there and just analysts talking about how that is such a bullish thing, and that must mean that we're going to bottom out here pretty soon. That's not necessarily the case, because the time frame for these large-scale investors is years and years. And now it's at the scale where those are companies now, those are institutional investors, and they don't. And the other thing to consider is this. Just because somebody has a lot of money doesn't necessarily mean that they're the smartest in the market, or that they have information that anybody else doesn't have, right? It typically does, there's a higher likelihood that they could have that information. But large-scale investors make mistakes all the time. Hedge funds blow up all the time. Big money traders get things wrong all the time, just like retail traders. It's usually to a lesser degree and a lesser degree of error, but again, these things happen. So building the bullish case here, what would we want to see? There's two things I see. There's three things I see potentially happening from Bitcoin, and I'm going to talk about what I think is the most likely. So for altcoin holders, the best possible scenario is that Bitcoin does exactly what it did back here through May, from May through July in 2021, which is that we just moved sideways with large wicks, low volatility and low momentum, and that's going to allow the altcoin sector to really pump up, right? Now, if we, here's what I would say: if we see that same behavior happen here in Bitcoin, and we see altcoins kind of rocket up, and then we see them after about a month or two, maybe even 2 to 3 weeks, but I would say probably a month or two, just based on the historicity of what Bitcoin's done here this last time. We're going to see alt season, as some would refer to it as, and we're going to see altcoins pump up quite a bit. And I would view that as an exit opportunity. I would view those as exit pumps prior to the crypto winter. All right. There's going to be lots of gains to be had. So if individuals are accumulating altcoins at these price levels, if Bitcoin goes sideways, altcoins, in my opinion, are going to continue to rise up. And I would look for opportunities, big volume spikes, big candles, lots of hype, lots of social media attention for these altcoins. I would view those as opportunities to exit long-term positions and tether up, or USD up, or USDC up, or DAI or PAX, whatever you like to refer to it. But just move into stable coins, or potentially even open up hedges if you are holding some of these coins for the long term. Because if Bitcoin does end up breaking down following this level of either redistribution or potentially accumulation, but we'll just call it consolidation until we know. As Bitcoin moves sideways in this period of consolidation, altcoins are going to pump, and if they start to dump massively, that would be a little bit of a telltale sign that Bitcoin is going to slide down as well, and potentially at the beginning of what individuals would call the crypto winter or the bear market. So in that situation, you don't want to be holding altcoins. Historically, this has always been terrible. 80% corrections, if not more, on most altcoins. We flush a lot of the garbage out of the space, and likely you're probably holding, without even knowing it, a lot of garbage in your portfolio. All right. So the ride's been fun. It's been a good bull market. And we can see altcoins make new higher highs from here as Bitcoin stays low. This is exactly what happened back in 2018. And it happened to a lesser degree back here in 2021. But yeah, that's the first scenario where Bitcoin goes sideways, altcoins perform well, but then altcoins begin to dump after about a month or two of good performance, and then we see Bitcoin slide. Now, in the situation where we see Bitcoin consolidate here, and then I still think altcoins are going to have their rally, regardless of only in one scenario where Bitcoin just dumps here and carves through the weekly baseline with no consolidation. That would be terrible to see. That would be quite, I don't want to say frightening to see as a trader, but that would be very bearish. And that means that altcoin holders are going to continue to be in pain, because most altcoin holders are in drawdown right now for retail investors, and that means that they're likely just going to never recover their profits, at least in this market cycle. They'll have to wait a couple of years if they want to do the long-term holds. But assuming that Bitcoin consolidates here, I expect altcoins to perform well. And should we see Bitcoin then push up from that area, then likely what we'll just see from altcoins is pullbacks on altcoins, and opportunities to, so I would still utilize those opportunities to exit those altcoin positions, buy back in on the pullback. While that pullback is occurring, I would slide that money back into Bitcoin and Ethereum and let those big dogs ride. And then after Bitcoin and Ethereum have kind of begun performing well and the altcoins have pulled back, you could slide your money back over to altcoins to realize that that price appreciation right there. Now, I guess there are two other scenarios. One is the scenario that I already laid out where Bitcoin just carves right through here on high momentum and high volatility in the upcoming weeks. I don't really expect to see that happen. I'd be a little surprised to see that happen. And that would be a strong impetus for daily shorts. I don't want to see a lot of high momentum continuing out of Bitcoin here. And then the other is the V-bottom recovery here, where Bitcoin pops up. Now, the first thing that we would need to see for that to possibly be the case is we're going to need a higher weekly close. And we're also going to definitely not make a lower low. So I don't think we're going to make a lower weekly low anytime soon, except in the situation where Bitcoin carves through this weekly baseline. So the first sign that I would be seeing is for a weekly close higher than 52,183. That would be the first impetus for me that we are going to actually see a little bit of a V bottom here. And that price is going to appreciate relatively quickly. So those are the couple scenarios that I see on the macro scale here for Bitcoin and altcoin markets. Again, in summary, I feel that Bitcoin is likely going to consolidate here and altcoins are going to continue to perform well. I would utilize this opportunity as these altcoins are flying up over the next month or so to exit those positions that you feel a little bit insecure of or that you've just entered speculatively. Take your profits and then move that profit back into Bitcoin if we see Bitcoin begin to emerge from the weekly baseline here and have a positive weekly close, and move that money into shorts or just stable coins if we do see Bitcoin break down here. All right, now that we've talked about the macro, let's go to the daily and look at what we're actually looking at for today. We can unhide our drawing tools now. Bitcoin remains below the daily baseline and below the point of control, but we can get rid of VPVR because we're not going to be talking about that today. So Bitcoin continuing to trade in this descending channel, not a descending broadening wedge, just a descending channel. This is typically, this is going to be known as a flag. These are going to typically result in continuation of the previous down cycle. I do expect Bitcoin to stay in this channel for a while. Again, our first daily sign would be if Bitcoin is able to close higher than the previous daily high, which is going to be 50,840. So either way, we need price appreciation coming out of Bitcoin. We do have dynamic resistance overhead in the form of the daily baseline, 54,767. That would be the kind of continuation or momentum entry, looking for that bullish trend to reemerge. And again, a little bit of support in this previous consolidation area here, but more specifically right back over here. And we talked about those levels. Those are lining up really nice. This is the kind of the level to watch for here on the weekly time frame and on the daily. So keeping that in mind, no signals coming in from the daily right now. We are in this period of really low volatility. So I do think the lower time frames are likely best to trade right now, going to be reversal strategies and reversion to the means. We just don't have any strong trends coming out of Bitcoin, but the overall movement is going to be here to the downside. But pretty risky for the daily positions. I did actually end up closing my daily short on Bitcoin on a slight bit of drawdown, and I closed my daily short on Ethereum and a little bit of profit. And that was offset very nicely from my lower time frame trades, as we've been kind of showing and talking about here on the stream. So ugly, not a fantastic open for Bitcoin today. We do have this DOGE that we ended up closing with on yesterday, following this nice positive push up on the 14th. And again, just a little bit of a bearish candle here. And again, if we I mean, just really not what we want to see for positive momentum here. So again, not a whole lot of follow through. You guys can see that even though the open yesterday was relatively positive, yesterday was pretty crazy because we pumped all the way up, dumped all the way back down, and then closed all the way back up as well. So pretty volatile day. Yesterday was a really fun day for lower time frame trading. But again, just these wicks to the upsides, these shadows on the candles indicate that we're just unable to get over resistance. We are making a lower daily high, continuing to make a lower daily high. So if this pattern continues, then I would expect us to make a new lower daily low down here in the $44,000 to $43,000 range. V bottom in 2 hours, baby. Yeah, right. Okay. So overall trend analysis for Bitcoin right now is bearish. Trade recommendations are going to be, again, not really daily time frame trades here. We can look for continuation short signals. That's the likely direction to trade in. But I would keep those TP targets relatively tight. I would keep those stop losses relatively tight as well, because Bitcoin is low momentum and high volatility, which means it's choppy. All right, so we're not really entering into trending trades in this area of the market. It's going to be a little dangerous. Okay, so moving, we'll look at the lower time frames here in a little bit. Before we do that, let's look over at Ethereum. Ethereum on the weekly time frame, as we talked about, again, continuing to slide down. What is interesting about Ethereum here, Ethereum might be the new bullwether for the market instead of Bitcoin. It's just been a little bit easier to analyze, okay? So Ethereum is still in a positive weekly trend. We're having this 5 week now weekly pullback. We are not making, we haven't for the last 2 weeks made new weekly lows. We did establish this swing low over here, not really the swing lows over here, but this recent weekly low down here at 3,470, although we pumped right back up from that. So Ethereum does seem to be resisting the urge to dump here. You guys can see these long tails, these long wicks to the downside, indicating that buyers are being pretty active on Ethereum. But so far, just not enough to continue to push a momentum to the upside. But what we would want to see here for the bullish case, of course, is that we see this sell side supply continue to be absorbed by buyers, and then they're just unable to push the market down any further. And when all potential sellers have sold, the market can only go one way, and that is up. However, we have yet to make a new weekly high for the last 3 weeks, so we'll just continue to kind of wait, watch, and see. We're not oversold, nor are we really in any area that's very attractive for an entry here on the weekly time frame. Again, overall bullish trend analysis in pullback mode right now. Volume is weak, but still bullish. And again, our momentum indicator here and Wadatar explosion is bearish, but has not given us any kind of entry signals. We did get the take profit long signal for weekly trades several candles ago, following this continuation long signal here. And here was the other continuation long signal. So let's just kind of analyze this. So we have our first, just going back over the last few trades that Minx called on the Ethereum weekly time frame. We do have a continuation long back here in April. Take profit long down here. All right, that was kind of a bad signal. I'm not going to lie. Quick pullback here, but still would have made some profit. And continuation long signal here, and continuation long signal here, followed by a TPL right over here. So we're able to dunk, and then get out relatively good on this doji candle, on this weekly doji candle, relatively close to the top. So not bad. And then again, just kind of pulling back. Here is the initial long signal on the weekly time frame for Minx, all the way back here in again April of 2020. And we did not have a take profit long signal until September of 2020, and then another continuation long signal in October of 2020, and that kept us in the market, until June of 2021. So not bad Ethereum, not bad Minx. Let's go over here and look at the daily time frame, which is relatively interesting. Again, we were driving down here relatively low, so 1, 2, 3 drops here on Ethereum. Just kind of hovering and consolidating, chopping, as I like to say, around the daily baseline. Now we do have this dynamic level of resistance right above us in the form of the daily baseline, which is coming in at $4,144.88, give or take. And again, Ethereum is struggling to get over that. So this would be a potential reversal baseline bounce rejection entry. So one could go ahead and enter into their reversal short here and utilize something like Quadriga for that stop and target system. So if we were taking a re-entry continuation short off of Ethereum here, we're going to be setting that stop loss 4,534, 3,749. Stop loss at 4,534 with take profit target starting at 37.49, 34.36, and 31.22. So that would be kind of the daily swing short following this pump. And the philosophy behind that is going to be that this is going to be a failed rally. We're back at a level of resistance, and we want to enter on this relative high. Hold on just a second. Okay. Okay, so again, Ethereum daily swing short potentially on the table. That's kind of the most interesting signal. So that's the one that I have not decided whether or not I'll be taking this trade. I'll be posting those signals out to the premium members later on this afternoon. I need to do a little bit more. I need to do a little bit more analysis to see if this is the right setup based on everything that I have open currently at the current point in time. All right, let's go over and look. Let's go over and look at our trading bots and see how they're performing, and look at signals on the meso timeframes, lower timeframes potentially. We are going to be looking at the 45-minute time frame here, and looking for potential signals and seeing overall how the strategies responded to the movements yesterday. So what was interesting is watching the super duper DEMA strategy. I did get trapped into a lot of losing shorts. I believe about 6 losing shorts when the market actually V-bottomed up, but it very quickly popped back into longs and was able to replant that ROI that was lost with the wins from the long strategy. We do have the long and short strategies completely segregated. All right. Let's see here. So just focusing on the USDT markets here. Okay. Again, let's see here. We did enter into this 45-minute long on Bitcoin. Have not yet hit the profit target here for BTC. Let's just make sure that the... Good. Yep, have not yet hit the profit target for that. We are right back at our entry right now. And if Bitcoin does close below 48,045, that trade will be closed. But right now we've had this nice pullback, actually not looking like a bad continuation here for BTC here on the 45-minute chart. To the upside. Excuse me. Ethereum USDT. Right here, what's interesting. So the strategy, you guys can see this losing short. The strategy did take this losing short, but got right back into the long and was able to capture on the profit right here. And this signal is still open. Again, if you're using 50-50 take profit strategy. So let's use that disclaimer before we start rolling through these signals. The way that these automated signals are generated is to use a fixed take profit level for all in, all out. Those are the signals that go to Discord. That ensures us the highest percent profitability, the highest hit rate. However, individuals who are utilizing these signals will, over time, if they utilize the 50-50 profit-taking strategy, will realize higher net profits because it allows their last half of their position to run. So just to run through that again, you would be taking half of your profit at the recommended take profit level, and then the other half of your position is going to be left to run until the exit signal, which for this particular strategy is going to be price closing across the other side of the super trend that we've modified for these purposes. Let's see here. All right, so Ethereum still in an active short, or still in an active long. Solana grabbed the long trade right over here at 1245 yesterday. Was able to hit its take profit target relatively quickly on this candle, and then so that signal's still open as well. All right, Cardano, same thing, was able to get into you can see here the losing short, but was able to get into the long very quickly, grab its take profit target, and Cardano is still long. So the 45-minute time frame, the hourly time frame, is still bullish for both assets. Tezos, very similar, was able to got into the short, hopped back into the long very quickly to accommodate, was able to capture the take profit target, and Tezos is still long. Let's see here. BNB, again, you can see the short that it took, but it was able to hop back into the long very quickly. We get into the long, we hit our take profit target almost immediately, and BNB is still bullish, still actively long. AXS, you can see here that we went into the short, and again, went into the long. Price pushed up. We were able to hit our take profit target extremely quickly, and AXS is still bullish here. XRP USDT, again, losing short, but hopped back into the long to accommodate. Almost sold the top there. And again, that is still active following this pullback that we've had. Polkadot. Polkadot's still bullish here. Again, we did not take the losing short here, so Polkadot did not get trapped in that. Polkadot just took the long and was able to get into that trade and get with its take profit target very quickly. And that is still actively bullish as well. Link USDT. Took the long, hit the take profit target. Link USDT is still bullish, still in an active long. Litecoin is still in an active long. Already hit one take profit target. Dogecoin's relatively interesting here. So following this pump and Dogecoin getting into this trade and capturing, again, almost nearly the top, so catching about half that move, we haven't gotten any new signals. So what we need to see for Dogecoin is for Dogecoin to actually break above about 18 18 cents, 18 and a half cents. And we have a potential long signal. We have made a higher low, interestingly here, and we have held the 200 period DEMA. So this will kind of be an interesting signal to watch. We can actually get some nice price appreciation from Dogecoin here. This would be a good, this might even be a good swing trade. All right, MATIC USDT, still bullish, still hit the long signal and still continuing to the upside. So that's still an active long. EOS USDT still actively long, but in drawdown. So we're back at this level of support, formed a low right at the double exponential moving average. And we do have a higher low here. So let's see if we can get some nice price appreciation. Uniswap is still in an active long, hit the first take profit target. Let's see here. Sushi just took a long. Interesting. So we had a long over here, hit the take profit target. Price moves sideways on high volatility. And after we break this previous high, we enter the long again. Here's a pullback. So we are, that's a fresh long, and you actually have a better entry price right now for the Sushi USDT long. So that's a fresh, good signal right there. AVAX, we can see, gets into the long right here, and you could still be riding this all the way up. That's still active. FTM, still active long, got into the long right here. Take profits here, still actively long. Aave, let's see here. Got into the long here. Hit our first take profit target. Aave is still bullish. Bitcoin crap, still in an active long. Algorand, still in an active long. Already hit our first take profit target. Ethereum Classic, still in an active long. Already hit our first take profit target. Filecoin still in an active long. And a lot of these signals look like good entries. So if you guys missed some of these, we've had some pullbacks on a lot of these assets. And so these are not bad entry prices that we've come back to if you want to hop in on these signals. Compound USDT, still bullish, still in an active long. NEM, still in an active long. Tron, still, Tron is flat, actually, sorry. No active signal here from Tron. Let's see here. Theta is still in an active long. Stellar Lumens is still in an active long. Insane Clown Posse is still in an active long. BitShares is still in an active long. Not BitShares, just Bybits coin. Sand is still in an active long. Gala is flat. Mana is still in an active long. Shiba Inu is long. And actually, you have a better entry price now. So the long was signaled up here at 0.033. And we're currently at, plus following a whole bunch of digits. So you have got a slightly better entry now. You've got about a 1.28% better entry now on the Shiba Inu trade. Loop Ring is flat. No signal for the Loop Ring. Engine Coin is still long. Alice is still long. Cosmos is still long. Willy Woo Coin is still long. IOTX is still long after hitting its first take profit target. Omisa Go is long. Luna is along, Chiliz is along, Didex is along, Curve Finance is along, Hedera Hashgraph is still in an active long, and Seller is still in an active long as well. So a lot of cool, a lot of good active signals there, a lot of good potential entry prices right here. And again, I think altcoin's going to continue to trend up positively. And again, I think just looking at any of these signals, Bitcoin here looks like the most interesting for the re-entry. So let's go down to... Let's go down to the lower time frames and look for some potential 5-minute trades here. Okay. All right. Now, what we're looking for here is, and this is key, we want to see some bullish divergence. All right. Bullish divergence is going to prevent a lot of the losing trades, utilizing the VWAP double bounce strategy. So that's what we're going to be looking for here for lower time frame trades and looking for some potential entries. All right, so BTC USDT, we are gearing up. All right, we are gearing up. And here we might actually begin to see some bullish divergence here. But we need to see whatever momentum oscillator we're using give us a higher low rather than a lower low. So no bullish divergence here. And so we can see kind of the weak follow through that we've had from that. This would have been the entry candle. And while that trade has not been stopped out yet, we can see that so far we have not had the follow through that we want. Whereas if we go and look over here, all right, this was the last trade that I took on BTC USDT this morning. Would have been this signal right here. As you guys can see, we do make a new lower low. And we have the nice bullish divergence from the QQE mod momentum oscillator right there. And this is the entry candle. And we did not have amazing follow through, but we were able to hit 1-to-1. You guys can see we were able to hit 1-to-1 on that trade. And so far, nothing else has really come. Ethereum USDT, consolidating at the VWAP line. Not oversold, not overbought. Solana, very similar to Ethereum here. Cardano is relatively interesting, but again, no bullish divergence here, just confluence. Tezos breaking down currently from the VWAP. Nothing here from BNB. AXS is one to watch here if we can get some positive momentum, but again, really no bullish divergence here that we want to see. XRP USDT, again, kind of exactly where we want to be for an entry here, but just no bullish divergence. Polkadot, again, just no bullish divergence. Now, if we come down here and test the lower band a little bit more, then we could be looking for a potential entry. Link USDT, again, no bullish divergence, just confluence. Litecoin is one to watch, but again, not a signal yet. Dogecoin might be an interesting one here. Do have some very, very weak bullish divergence. And so we could have entered on this candle right here, which is basically right where we are at. And if I do recall, yeah, Doge on the 45 was kind of gearing up here, right at the DEMA, giving us kind of a decent profit level back up. So high or low. I think this might be the trade. I'm just going to hold on here, guys. All right. Ooh. There we go. All right, let's see if we can't. There we go. A bad way to lose money on a Thursday, right? They got me. All right. So moving on, looking for the next trade. All right, MATIC's not it. EOS is not it. Uni not it. Sushi not it. AVAX not this. Aave. Bitcoin Cash. Algorand, no. All having nice little... Oh, which means what's Bitcoin doing? Yeah. Pain is real. Let's see if we get another lower high. We'll actually probably get a higher high out of BTC here. Let's see. Yeah, the volume was not... the volume wasn't really enough to get that higher high, I don't think. So maybe here. Yeah, right there. We're at 138. Oh. We look at can we look at can we look at Grits USD? Joe asks. Seems like they're always on a parabolic moon motion. You know, I've never seen grits on a stick. Nor have I ever seen grits deep fried. You know what I mean? Mail nail post. Am I currently in a hex trade? No, I'm not. That one says, wow, what is happening? I just got stopped out on a Doge trade, Robert, and the market is falling down. All right, so let's go see what that means here. All right, so we can see that rejection coming in here on the daily from Ethereum. And this is Alice. I want to have BTC USD. We can see what that looks like over here on Bitcoin. Okay. Nothing super crazy here, guys. Here's the daily. All right, just rejection from the top of this channel. Moving back down. What is a crit? Nobody knows. That's pretty nasty. You know, one thing. It's the less desired parts of a food source. Is that really like what it is, like overall? I thought I thought I thought grits were just hominy, right? Grits are hominy, right? It's like a southern, it's like oatmeal almost. But you guys are talking about grits like they are like sausage almost. You know what I mean? Santa is evil. Does this confirm that Bitcoin's going down to 44K in all likely? Again, I think that I don't really see us trading lower than that daily low, than the previous weekly low. I don't really see that happening unless, right, we're going into the crypto winter, which I'm just not convinced that that's what's going on right now. Right now, Bitcoin just moving on low volatility. Well, actually high volatility today. But as far as daily timeframes go, we're not in a strong daily trend. You know, we are weekly bearish. We're continuing to slide down. We've got a lot of support beneath us. Every time we dip down there, we continue to get bought up, but we're just not able to make a great break above. So I really do see in the long term on the daily, Bitcoin mostly going sideways, with altcoins continuing to perform well. Corn is to grits as oats. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, it's just made out of corn. It's like Jimmy crack corn and I don't care. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's something like that. Yeah. Okay. So looking for a potential setup here. We want to see BTC USD. We gotta need some bullish divergence. We don't see any bullish divergence here. But we need to see Bitcoin at least back above 48,105. Bitcoin trying to make a little bit of a recovery here right now, but just not able to do it. Again, you know, like one potential strategy too is Elon tweeted about something going 50% down in code. It sounds like I've had some grits. Yeah, I have had. Yeah, I have eaten grits at like I can't remember where. I think I've made them at home. Yeah, I have made them at home when I lived back in Iowa. And that, listen, the fact that I lived in Iowa has nothing to do with the fact that I ate grits. All right, I was just kind of curious about them. I bought them at the store. I cooked them. I used to eat a lot of oatmeal. What's the word I'm looking for here? And you know, they were good. You know, just a lot of butter, a lot of salt. You know what I mean? Of course, he's had grits. He's a stadium. I don't know about that, bro. Craig Neve says Elon tweeted about something going down 50%. Down in code. Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. He said, so, yeah, like he. Nobody knows, man. I know. I feel like the entire market's flipped bearish. And you guys know what that usually means. When the market flips bearish, when the retail market flips bearish, it usually means that the end is close at hand. And we've been in extreme fear for like a while. And again, this chart, like if you're just tuning in and you're looking at this chart, you're like, oh my God, Bitcoin's breaking down, right? But if we go over, no, we don't want to do that. We want to go over to this chart. If we look over here, no, we're just retracing the pump that we put in the last couple days. You know what I mean? And we still have not traded lower than this level right here. So just kind of slinking downwards. And I think this is likely just going to continue for a while. This is exactly what we saw here. This is exactly what we saw here. A little higher volatility here, though. But what we really want to see, I mean, ideally, what we really want to see is this formation right here. This happens all the time in Bitcoin. It's this formation right here. Okay. Sometimes it is, I mean, here, we'll just go point it out. Here's one right here. Let's go find us another one. That's not perfect because you've got one in between them. Let's see here. Go find another one. Yeah, here's another like not perfect one because you got one in between. Let's go back in time. Here's a good example. Here's a good example. Here's a good example. It's almost always the same. Here's a good example. So if you guys are seeing what I've pointed out, you have you've got a downtrend, you have a small bearish candle, and then you have a bullish engulfing green candle with little to no wick. No wick, no wick, no wick, almost no wick, almost no wick. Again, these are the two imperfect examples because you do have this inverted hammer here, but almost no wick. Again, imperfect example, but almost no wick. And that's usually when you see the bottom. So we need to see a bullish engulfing candle. Right on Rice was raised in Texas, so has had his fair share of grits. I bet, Craig. Oh, he just tweeted 15 minutes ago? Well, then the market's likely going to respond a little bit. He's got the Elon Musk effect. It's very interesting, actually. Best with lots of sugar and butter. You know, listen, I tried grits both ways. Elon discovered we are humans near the RSSI stem. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Shrimp and grits is Crypto Jenny's #1 comfort food. That actually sounds pretty good. I have heard of putting other stuff in grits. I think I've had sausage in them. It's pretty good. F1 says, I don't know what I say. I am a robot. Tried walking the dog and got your foot dirty? Yeah. No, I kind of agree with you guys. Yeah, cheese, butter, Cajun seasonings, lots of salt. Yeah, otherwise they're just terrible. What is it with you? Why do we have to freeze everything on a stick? Oh, that sounds good. Yeah, I like Menudo. Yeah, I think you guys. I think that's a good opportunity, guys. If this crypto thing doesn't work out, or if maybe if the crypto thing does work out, you guys could just roll over into the soul food section. That's not a bad idea. Okay. Bitcoin continuing to slip down and down. Okay, so let's go out to the. It's still taking forever to load. Let's go look at. Okay, so here's BTC USDT. All right, so that long is closed now. All right, so let's go look here. All right, so listen, I just want to kind of point out this bigger picture here, right? So here's the 45-minute time frame, and we can see this value locked area that Bitcoin's been trading in. Just this big consolidation range ever since that big dump down. All right, so the lower time frames are looking pretty volatile here, like we are continuing in one solid direction. But one thing to consider here is that Bitcoin has not yet, even on this time frame, right, as far as the last several days, is making higher highs. And is making higher lows, right? So we can see that right here, right? Higher low, higher low, higher low, maybe higher high, higher high. All right. But overall have not been, we just haven't broken out of this consolidation range, right? So I think I don't think we want to be putting on our, necessarily be putting on our short shoes yet. And we're going to consolidate in this range until we break out of it. So you want to wait for that break before entering those trending positions, and then you'll get that kind of high volatility. So what that means is if we get a large red daily candle downwards, right, it's likely going to be a signal to short. It's likely the best thing to do. And if we get a high volatility candle upwards, likely going to mean the completion of that bottom feeder signal, which is still active, guys. Bottom feeder still calling for a move back up to 55 from this price range. And then as far as continuation of the overall bullish trend, we'll have to wait and see if we actually can close back above the baseline and get all our other trending indicators firing off. Because we could still get baseline. We could still hit the bottom feeder signal and still get reversal baseline rejection. Sultan Uda says, I would not short support, longs only here. Again, that's a good system, a good strategy, not shorting support, not longing resistance. So again, yeah, the one item, excuse me. So we do have an active bottom feeder signal, which is our bottom detection algorithm. It is signaling here. So when I say that, the bottom feeder is not a bottom, it is a bottom detection algorithm, but not in the sense that like this is the bottom. It's it nibbles at the bottom. It captures those profit opportunities when price is oversold in interesting ways. It looks at a lot of different things. Crypto Rick says E-Gold on the 15-minute time frame. Is it bad? Oh my goodness. That looks bad on the 45-minute time frame. Don't feel bad, man. I got a little bag of AGLD. Was not the coin to buy. See you guys over here, Dex Tools. So, interesting. Bump token launched today. ETH one's like 75% in altcoins, and this is scary. You know, I think honestly, like again, I could be wrong, but I do think Missed Shiba, get Piccolo, and you get the fuck out. I love this market, dude. Honestly, I think that altcoins are going to be okay here. If Bitcoin consolidates, goes sideways, we're gonna see altcoins exit bump at the very least. So that would be the play, in my opinion. That's the play that I'm making personally. So, and we'll see here. I'm just gonna sit here and watch the bump USD chart like a maniac today. Okay. With that being said, guys, it's time to head for the door. Oh. Let's see what I got on here. Did I miss any comments? Do I have any strong opinions on the MATIC daily chart? Yeah, let's look at that real quick. You know, the MATIC daily chart here looks good. Everything's here except for momentum. We just don't have enough momentum. And my volume indicator's not here either. Yesterday could have been a potential signal for some systems. I can see that. And obviously the reversal baseline bounce entry. So this trade, in my opinion, is a reversal ideally was a reversal baseline bounce trade. So you got in on this candle or even potentially this candle, but trying to score your entry there. We likely have already hit on that, our take profit target, because we've already seemed to have traced one ATR, even with this kind of high volatility. We've got a lot of dojis in there. And so this is kind of at a standstill for me. MATIC's been a good performer. I don't see anything beginning to trend strongly on the daily, although I do have a overall bearish tilt toward altcoins right now. We are trading higher than this previous level of resistance, so we continue to make a higher low. We've been making higher highs. So kind of next onboard target would be wanting to break that $258 level and try to make another higher high. Minx is going to be crossing up today. The only thing we don't have is momentum. So let's see what we got for metrics here. Yeah, I mean, your first take profit is going to be $2.44, and your stop loss is basically right back down here at the optimum entry, $1.75. A strong opinion, no, but it's certainly kind of the only thing that's looking good in a sea of red. $75% alts. You're a high baller. Thank you guys, everybody, for coming to the show. Let's hop over here. Thank you guys for joining me for another episode of the Kraken Cryptocurrency Market Update. Hopefully you found it educational and infotainment. If you guys enjoyed the content, make sure to leave a like and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. It lets me know that I'm making good content and incentivizes me to continue making it. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, sarcastic remarks, and or hot stock tips and or death threats, please leave them in the comment section down below, and I will try my best to respond to them. If you guys want to join us in the Discord, make sure to head over to discord.krakencryptocurrency.com to keep the conversation going and the trading going long after the show. And if you guys are interested in improving your skills trading, either through our Pathways to Profit course, taking advantage of our premium signal service, using our proprietary indicator suite, and joining our community mentoring, or just having access to our premium Discord community, make sure to check out everything that we have to offer at premium.krakencryptocurrency.com. Other than that, my name's been Justin Wise for Kraken Cryptocurrency. Hopefully you guys have a fantastic day. Make sure to trade safely, tip your waitresses, and I will see you guys tomorrow at 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. Cheers, guys. Have a good one.